offering an alternative pathway into the work for those at a disadvantage in the labor market or in search of more flexibility. So this is indirectly the same thing, that when you are promoting the local business, you are purchasing your own country's local organization's products. You are actually you are providing job opportunities for the people of your country. Now, how you are providing the job opportunities? Because once a brand got famous for its products, and that brand is coincidentally or luckily a local business. Okay, so when the workload will increase on that business, of course they will create more job opportunities, they will hire more people. Okay, so purchasing local products of the local companies will also indirectly increase the economic status, strengthen the economic status of the country. However, market institutional and behavioral failures create barriers to entrepreneurship. The obstacles include barriers to entry in the market with large incumbents, administrative costs associated with registering a business, and information imperfections in finance markets, which create liabilities of newness and smallness. Okay, now three kinds of things or barriers basically. We talk about the market fail when we talk about the three things that act as barriers to the entrepreneurship, it include the market failure, institutional failure, and the behavioral failure. Okay, three kinds of failures. Now, these three kinds of failure means market. Okay, three kind of failures. Now, the three kind of failures that will act as a barrier to entrepreneurship means that it will stop you from doing some entrepreneurship, some business, some online business or individual business are market failure, institutional failure, and behavioral failure. We have studied in detail that what is market failure. We also know that institutional failure means that whatever we are doing has failed. Okay, it has flopped. Our idea of doing that business is basically not working. Either we have not researched well about the business before its startup, or we have not decided the exact niche of the business, or there can be some other reasons why our institution actually failed completely there, and as a result of which, of course, we are no more entrepreneur. The third thing is behavioral failures. Sometimes the people start the business, but after a specific time, after some time, they stop taking interest into their business. Stop taking interest in their business. For example, many people, they develop their YouTube channel, okay, but after few months or so, they stop making videos. They stop making content for their channels. Okay, they actually started to lose interest in their channels, and as a result of which, of course, they become a failed entrepreneur, or they are no more a successful or a simple the newbie entrepreneur. Okay, so these three failures can be a reason to stop you from being the entrepreneur. The obstacles include barriers to entry in the markets with large incumbents, administrative costs associated with registering a business, and information imperfections in finance markets, which create liabilities of newness and smallness. Okay, what does it mean? Basically, the hurdles or the barriers, they include the hurdle to enter in the market, means the difficulties that any person, any business can face before entering in the market. With large incumbents means with huge responsibilities, there are too much responsibilities, there are too much things to do by that organization, so that's why the organization will face lots of hurdles from entering in the market. Then administrative costs. Okay, the administrative cost means, of course, when you are running an organization and a number of people are working under you, you need to spend on those workers on your team in order to run the business very smoothly. Okay, so this complete cost, including the wages, the salaries of the employees, as well as the money or the the money required for the maintenance of the organization. All this complete thing is known as administrative cost. Okay, so another barrier is administrative costs associated with registering a business. Whenever you are going to register a business, you need to mention that how much employee will you have in order to run your business. Okay, so and of course there are some protocols, the legal protocols required for registering the business. So and those protocols also require the hidden challenges. Okay, because you are new, you are the new business, you are the smaller business in that market. The basic rationale for entrepreneurship policy stems from the need to address these types of barriers in order to secure the economic and social benefits of entrepreneurship. All right. So, basic thing that is, related with the entrepreneurship is related to or totally dependent upon these kind of barriers. You should know that how much hurdles, how much difficulties will you face while entering into a new market or desired market. So these are the challenges that you will face before and during the startup of your business, the companies, the new companies. Okay. The aim of entrepreneurship policy should not solely be to increase the startup rate, but also to improve the quality of the businesses created. You are actually not working completely on generating the profit, but of course, you will not time pass, okay? You will actually work hard on improving the quality of your product, whether it is a service, whether it is a commodity, you will strive hard to improve the quality. Overall, business startup numbers are dominated by one person, non-employed businesses. On average, solo entrepreneurs offer a modest contribution to growth and employment. And why is it so? Because when you are the sole person present in a business, you are working independently. There is no boss upon you, and you do not have to direct your subordinates. Okay, you are your own boss, you are your own subordinates. So therefore, they are the businesses that are one person or non employed businesses, they are offering a modest contribution to the growth and employment in a country. Some, such as skilled independent workers and network entrepreneurs, can be very successful and innovative. The increasing prominence of platform based work arrangements enables the individuals to pursue independent work that may in future become the basis of larger entrepreneurial endeavors. Policies seeking a greater economic and social benefit should focus resources on startups with potential for sustainability and growth. Okay, so basically, when or you can say there is another aspect of working as entrepreneur, and what is that positive impact? Because when you are working on a platform, you are getting your team on that platform. Of course, in future, that dependency and interdependency of work will, become wider. How? A single platform with a big, strong, and efficient team will, of course, bring some changes, will, of course, produce better work as compared to a single person present on that platform. Okay. The policies seeking a greater economic and social benefit should focus resources on startups with potential for sustainability and growth. Okay. So whenever you are going to start a business, you should look about the economic and the social benefits that you will get from your business. Okay. So first think about that, then decide the niche of your business, and then decide whether you are going to start your business as a one person owner, non-employer business, or whether you are going to build a team after a specific interval. The second step is starting and surviving startup companies. Okay, this is the same first point. What is a startup? The term startup refers to a company in the first stages of operation.
Ma'am,
Startups
is
are
the first one or the second one, ma'am?
actually it is the first point, starting and surviving startup.
First one still.
Yes, I have mistakenly given this heading. So, what is a startup? So, this term startup refers to the company in the first stages of the operation. Okay. Startups are founded by one or more entrepreneurs who want to develop a product or service for which they believe there is a demand. These companies generally start with high costs and limited revenue, which is why they look for capital from a variety of sources such as venture capitalists. Okay, so what is startup? Maybe I have explained it in 3 to 4 lines. The startup means a company that has just started the operation, or the company that is in first stages of the operation. They are usually founded by one or more entrepreneurs who want to develop a product or service for which they believe there is a demand. Okay, so these startups are usually founded by one or two persons, and they start the business for a product about which they think that this product is in demand, and they are able to produce that product in much more qualitative form. Okay, these companies generally require high costs and limited revenue. Okay, this is just for the startup. A startup one person owner company or a startup entrepreneurship requires high cost and limited revenue. But with the passage of time, both of these things got reversed. Limited cost, but high revenue. Okay. Understanding the startup. Startups are the companies or ventures that are focused on a single product or service that founders want to bring to the market. This is the same thing that we have just discussed. These companies typically don't have a fully developed business model and, more crucially, lack adequate capital to move on to the next phase of the business. Okay, they are not actually a fully developed company. The startups are not fully developed company, and they lack an adequate capital to move on to the next phase of the business. Of course, they require time, not only the time but the expertise, the more developmental stages to go through, and then the startup will be converted into a renowned business, an experienced organization, or you can say a successful organization. Most of these companies are initially founded by their founders, the sole founders. Many startups turn to others for more funding, including family, friends, and venture capitalists. Silicon Valley is known for its strong venture capitalist community and is popular destination for startups. Okay, so but is also widely considered the most demanding arena. Valley. We have taken the example of the Silicon Valley. It was once a startup, but now it is famous for its strong venture capitalist community. Okay, it is basically, I think so, it's a housing scheme. Let us see. Yes, exactly. It's the housing scheme. But now it has become so wide or so it is spreaded in many of the countries to this extent that now it is renowned as strong capitalist community. Okay, and many organizations they take their start from the Silicon Valley. Okay, means that the markets present in this housing society are now a destination for many new businesses. So that is why it is one of the most renowned and demanding arena for the startups. Special considerations. There are a number of different factors that entrepreneurs must think of as they try to get their startups off the ground and begin operations. We have listed some of the most common ones. Okay, now these considerations are very important whenever we are going to start a business. First one is the location, then legal structure, then funding. Okay, location. Location can make or break any business, and it's often one of the most important considerations for anyone starting up in the business world. Startups must decide whether their business is conducted online, in an office or home office, or in a store. The location depends on the product or service being offered. For example, a technology startup selling virtual reality hardware may need a physical storefront to give customers face to face demonstration of the product's complex features. Okay, so location of the business is very important. For example, if you are going to start a pharmaceutical business, so the basic condition is that you must develop your pharmaceutical organization near a hospital. Okay, the location holds great importance. So, similarly, the companies will decide whether they will develop their franchise, whether they will start selling in their own home office, whether they will develop a store, or whether they will start selling the products online. Okay, so this also comes under location or the kind of the franchise, the kind of uh, yes, we can say the kind of franchise, kind of store or means of selling their products. For example, a technology startup selling virtual reality hardware may need a physical storefront. Why the physical storefront is required for technology startup? Because this way the customers can give a face-to-face demonstration of the product. Okay. Then comes the legal structure. Startups need to consider what legal structure best fits their entity. As a sole proprietorship is suited for a founder who is also the key employee of the business. Partnerships are a viable legal structure for business that consists of several people who have joint ownership, and they're also fairly straightforward to establish. Personal liability can be reduced by registering a startup as a limited liability company. If you do remember, before studying the organizational structure, the types of organizational structure, we studied that basically there are three kinds of businesses. Sole proprietorship, in which only one person is involved. He is the owner of that business, and he is the only worker of that business. Partnership involves two or more persons, and the share is equally distributed among all the partners. And the personal liability depends on that how the how the change in the partners will occur with the passage of time. And similarly, the shareholding will change accordingly. Okay, the partners will come and go. Of course, there will be change in the partners, but their ratio of getting profit will be dependent upon uh, the ratio of sharing every kind of cost. Okay, means how much you will spend in that business will decide how will you get the profit from that business. Okay, so location, the legal structure, these two things are important. And third thing that is a special consideration is funding. Startups often raise funds by turning to family and friends or by using venture capitalists. This is a group of professional investors that specialize in funding the startups. Okay, so who are the venture capitalists? The group of professional investors that specialize in funding the startups. Okay, means they fund only the startups. They are also known as incubators, okay? Venture capitalists or incubators. So, first way of getting funds is by turning to family and friends, and the second is by using venture capitalists. Crowdfunding has become a viable way for many people to get access to the cash they need to move forward in the business process. Okay, so crowdfunding is another way of getting funds for the business. Means you move from door to door and you get funds from the people, from the businesses. The entrepreneur sets up a crowdfunding page online, allowing the people who believe in the company to donate money. Okay, so there is another way of doing crowdfunding. How? The entrepreneur will create an online page and allow the people to donate money to his business. Startups may use credit to commence their operations. A perfect credit history may allow the startups to use a line of credit as funding. This option carries the most risk, particularly if the startup is unsuccessful. Other companies choose small business loans to help fuel growth. Banks typically have several specialized options available for small businesses. A microloan is a short term, low interest product tailored for startups. A detailed business plan is often required in order to qualify. Okay, so therefore, it means that funding is very important. It can be a reason that how your organization will fail. Okay, there should be a continuous and smooth funding. Now, the funding can be done by turning to family and friends, by using the venture capitalist, by creating the online page, by doing the crowdfunding physically. Okay, so a perfect fund, a perfect credit history should be present in the business. This will allow the startup to use a smooth line of credit as funding. Okay, now how why do we say that funds sometimes act as a risk for many startup businesses? Because if the businesses um, goes out of the funds, out of the credits in their start, then of course all the money that you have spent already in that business and all the credit that you are having at in your hand, all of the money will be lost, all your efforts will be lost. Okay, so you should have hefty amount of credit or fund in your hand before starting up any business. So for that purpose, banks also offer many options for small businesses, many opportunities for small businesses. They provide you with micro loan. Okay, it is a short term low interest product, sorry, a short term and low interest loan for small startup businesses. A detailed business plan is often required in order to qualify. Okay, so if you want to get loan for your business, you need to provide a detailed business plan. Okay, now this is the second point. The first was starting and surviving a startup company, and the second is job growth. Okay, jobs growth is a statistic that is published and measured by the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics. It measures the amount of new non-farm payroll employment created monthly in the US. The statistic is reported in an employment situation summary published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, what is job growth? It is a statistic published and measured by the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. It is the amount of a new non-farm payroll, okay, that is created monthly in the United States. Okay, so what is job growth? But basically, it is the amount, or you can say it is the statistic that will tell you about the non-farm payroll employment. Okay, this statistic is reported in an employment situation summary and it was published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, how it is measured? The Bureau of Labor Statistics gathered the data from two surveys to formulate their statistics. The two surveys are the Current Employment Service, sorry, Statistics CES, and Current Population Survey CPS. Okay, so this job growth is dependent upon two things: the employment statistics and population survey. So, data from CES provides the information on non farm payrolls employment hours worked and earning. Because in CES, current employment statistics, we are explaining or providing information about employment, working hours or hours worked, and the earning. While in CPS, we are explaining the data regarding the employment, unemployment, and labor force on the basis of the population. So, on the basis of these two things, employment statistics and population survey, the job growth is decided. Okay, here we can tell that how much the jobs are required in that country or how much jobs have been created. The CPS survey data is a sample selected to accurately represent the entire non institutional civilian population over the age of 16. In CPS, the population survey, we are collecting the complete data regarding employment, unemployment, and the job growth on the among the people of age above 16. All right. The CES survey draws information from non-farm private businesses like the stores and offices and all the three levels of government entities, that is federal, state, and local. Okay, because CPS is collected on the basis of the population, the employment statistics is collect data is collected from the federal government, the state government, and the local government. Additionally, the farm and the agricultural job statistics are not included in the jobs growth data because of the cyclical nature of farming and agricultural businesses. However, the CPS survey includes the agricultural workers in addition to self-employed workers with unincorporated businesses. Okay, so farm and agricultural job data is not available in the job growth because of the cyclical nature of farming and agricultural businesses. Okay, this kind of business, the farm and the agriculture business, is not dependent upon the job creation opportunity. Okay, it is something related to the nature and it is dependent upon the cyclical nature of farming. Okay, so therefore, it does not involve the farm and agricultural data. Another key difference between the CPS and CES is that workers are not double counted in CPS population survey. And if an individual holds multiple jobs appearing on multiple payrolls, they would be counted multiple times in the CES survey. Okay, because on the in when we talk about the population survey, the difference between CPS and CES is that when we measure the job growth on the basis of population survey, CPS, the workers are not double counted. But when we are measuring the job growth on the basis of CES, employment statistics, then a person who is holding multiple jobs will appear again and again on the payrolls because these people are getting the pays from all the jobs. Okay, so therefore they will be appeared on the payrolls again and again on the basis of the number of jobs they are doing. They would be counted multiple times in the CES survey. Industry statistics provided in the employment situation summary are classified on the basis classified based on my established establishments main activity. This is in line with the North America industry classification system. Okay. Now 2017 means the it is the reference given with regard to the year 2017. Okay, so industry statistics was established or industry statistics provided the employment data on the basis of the establishment's main activity in North American industry classification system. So this was all about today's class. And this is the second class of assessment criteria number 1, in which we studied about the elements of national entrepreneurship strategy. If you have any, we have the same question in our previous class. If you have any question up till now, you may ask, please.
No, ma'am. No question.
Okay.